Hi everybody, today we're going to fix the main floor plan of this 1900 square foot two-level townhouse from Fresno, California. Now it's an attached unit, so that means there is another unit on both sides of it. The real design challenge with this is the light. There's only windows on the short end, so the floor plan generally is going to be quite dark, particularly towards the back. When you come in the front door, the entry space isn't so bad, but then it's flanked by these mechanical and laundry spaces on both sides. It's not very good for the entry. I really don't like this side yard den. There's no window and it's not going to be a very nice place to work. The kitchen is probably the biggest challenge in this whole house. The way it's designed is really poor. There's too much floor space. There's these little walls that kind of make it a separate room, but then at the same time it's open to the great room, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And I really don't like these 45-degree angle islands. I find they're very space inefficient. It's also a challenge as to how you would furnish this great room. So we're gonna work on this plan together. We're gonna fix all of these problems and make it a lot better. I always argue that if this had been done at the beginning before the unit was constructed, it wouldn't have cost any more money, and the changes that we're going to make today are going to greatly increase the property value and the functionality of the floor plan and the unit. So let's have a look. I've done a little bit of work in advance. Really, the first thing that we need to do is we need to get a better grip on the overall organization of the plan. So I've made a few changes. When you come in the front door, I've created the side vestibule. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put the front entry closet in this side vestibule, which is actually a really good place for it because it's close to the entry. And when you come in the front door, you're going to be able to see that millwork closet, which is a nice thing to look at. Around the corner, so out of view, I'm going to put that air conditioning unit, and then I'm going to put another storage closet, which is more of a sort of a utility storage closet, and it's tucked around the corner, so it's a little bit more out of the view. So then when you come into the front door, before we had that side yard media den space, I never really liked that. What I think we should do is we should create an office space with some bookshelves, and it's going to be more scaled to the scale of a smaller home office, which I think is actually kind of nice. And the bookshelves would be a really nice thing to look at as you first come into the front door. I put a sliding door here so you could actually just close that off. And then I think your desk would sit tucked right around the corner. So if you're messy kind of like me and you've got stuff all over the place, you're not going to see it right from the entry. So that is a nicer home office space than what we had before. The big move that I've made organizationally is the powder room used to be back in this corner, and I've moved it now to the center of the plan because we've got this staircase, and I'm going to create a sort of zone of utility in the center of the plan. So I'm going to make a small powder room. It's actually bigger than what we had before. So we'll have a vanity, and then we'll have our toilet. It's always important to tuck the toilet around the corner so you can't see it when you're in the rest of the unit. And then this allows us here to have a proper laundry room. If you remember from the first floor plan, what we had was a laundry closet basically. And now what we can do with a stacker washer dryer in the corner, we can have a sink and we can have a full counter, which is much, much nicer than what we had before. So let's work now on the kitchen. So the kitchen I'm going to keep in the same spot, but I'm going to reorganize it. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a longer floor to ceiling height pantry wall. And I'm going to place the fridge in one section of that wall, and then that would also allow us to have wall ovens and pantry storage. That really sets up the design of the rest of the kitchen because we can then put our back counter kind of where it was before, and I can actually really keep the cooktop kind of exactly where it was before. It just, the kitchen layout needs to just change a little bit. We can have upper cabinets all the way down. And then, this is the best part, we can put our island, and it can be a much bigger island, not a 45-degree angled island because I hate those islands, with a sink and then our dishwasher. We can have stools all along one end. And the great thing about this is I always like to think about where you're going to stand in the kitchen and what you're going to see. So if this is me, and those are my feet standing in the kitchen, I now have a view out towards the backyard. I can view into the great room, and I can also view out to the terrace, and I can also see the staircase into the center of the plan. So it's actually a really good position to be in the kitchen. So let's just finish off the floor plan quickly. It's kind of obvious where everything should go now that the basic organization is done. You'd obviously put the dining table in the same spot that it was before. It fits really well here, and of course it's nice to have centered on the window. And then finishing up the living room space, we've got these sliding doors, so we're going to have to leave enough room to get in and out of the sliding doors. Now before, the kitchen actually had a wall that kind of blocked the circulation, so I don't quite understand how you would place the furniture in the previous design because it wasn't sort of intuitive how you would place everything. But now with the kitchen opened up and we've got that island kitchen, we've got a seem more obvious place for the sofa. And then we can have our big coffee table here. And what I like about this is then we've got an open end that we can put 2 club chairs. I always like to use club chairs because they are easy to work with. And then we can put the TV wall mounted on the long wall, and then we still have enough room for another piece of furniture if we wanted to have something against the stairwell. So this is what I'm going to suggest that we do to this 1,900 square foot 2-level townhouse on the main floor. So next week we're going to actually look at the upper floor. The upper floor is even worse. I hate to say it, it's going to be more of a challenge, but really just by adjusting the organization of the plan, it really makes a huge difference to the livability of the unit. So I would really like to hear what you guys think about this. You can send me a message or you can leave a comment.